Good evening, everybody. Claude Boone Jr. here, Combat Rescue Transportation, LLC. You know, I was meaning to do this earlier, but I had to put a little more thought to it, and I just decided now was the right time. I want to talk to y'all a minute about why I started this company. I was inspired by two people in my life, more so than anybody that I can ever recall. And one of those people was my grandmother. My grandmama raised me from 1 day old. My grandmama had me in her arms at a very young age. And I would like to introduce y'all to her. This is Geraldine McEwen. Geraldine McEwen was the greatest woman I ever knew in my life. And she is half the reason or half the inspiration for Combat Rescue Transportation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my grandmama if I could. Her father was born on slave plantation, but as a free man. His father, and from the time that we came to America, her entire family was born into slavery. My grandma was born in 1922. Her father was a sharecropper. He bought a little piece of land and had 7 girls. She was the last of his children. Her mother, my great-grandmother, died in childbirth, birthing my grandmother into this world. So grandmama used to always say, we got the spirit of Job in the family, and I used to always wonder what that means, Grandma. She said, we was always born into a struggle, but we ended up all right in the end. So, something she used to say. Now, don't get me wrong. Grandmama was a salt of the earth Christian, and I'm from a very ancient time when we could say stuff like that and people understood what we meant. In other words, my grandmama loved the Lord, and she prayed 27,000 times a day. That being said, at the age of 13, she was run over by a carriage, a man in a horse and a buggy, and ran over my grandmama and mashed her leg clean off her body. So this was 1935. She was 13 years old. So you can imagine the state of medical care in 1935 to a little old black girl that just been mauled in the street. Man never stopped. Nobody ever was prosecuted. Just things like that happen to people like this in those times. And that being said, farming was all she knew, and she lived on the same 4-acre land that her daddy farmed in her lifetime. And she farmed that land and took me on as an infant. Took me on as an infant. I never really had the pleasure of knowing my mama. We'll leave it at that. But this woman right here, she took hold both horse strings and made it happen. Took me back to that farm, raised me. She died when I was very young. Grandma passed away when I was 15 years old. And I miss that woman like she left here yesterday, you heard me? I miss her like she left here yesterday. Anyhow, I had a first-hand experience with the challenges that disabled people face in daily life. You know, I was raised in hospitals, and grandma's health wasn't always the best, but she was strong. And I had a real up close and personal view of the difficulties of simply just moving around in this world for a handicapped person, for a disabled person. They used to say handicapped, my grandmama did. That term kind of faded. Disabled is more respectful, because they are just disabled. They have a part of their body that is disabled, But it does make life harder. So I tailored my business around thinking about those challenges that the average disabled person faces. And that's why we have the concierge time slots. Because, it may be a matter of I need to get to this doctor's appointment. Sometimes it's a matter of, I really would like to go see a sunset. We live in Arizona. How much more beautiful do the sunsets get? But when everybody in the house has to work or is busy, and that small mundane thing to them would just simply mean the world to you. So here at Combat Rescue Transportation, if you just want to get out and see a movie, I'm going to get you there. If you just want to go out and buy a new bottle of perfume, cologne, maybe eat a meal at the food court, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. I will take the time to give you just a little bit more of your independence. Love you, Graham. But now, if at all possible, I want to introduce y'all to somebody else. Uh-oh. My apologies. This little angel right here, that's Erica Arnez Boone. I want y'all to get a good look at the sweetness of that face right there. That's my baby. About 8 months ago, they told me from one doctor office to the last that my baby had 6 months to live. She was diagnosed with glioblastoma in the middle of her brain. They couldn't operate. Chemotherapy was useless. So, You know, in the military, they teach you to compartmentalize your thoughts, especially during times of stress. You have to think about what's going on. You have to put things in boxes, because some of those boxes, if you look in them, you'll mess your britches. Trust me. So you got to put that way back in no man's land. I watched these companies pick my daughter up, and the vehicles smell like locker room. You know, sometimes they were clean, sometimes they wasn't. Sometimes they was on time, sometimes they wasn't. You know, I'm a welder by trade. Before I go any further, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Claude Boone Jr., Desert Storm veteran, hull tech. I was taught to weld the minute I walked in the door of the military. And the day I walked in the door, they said, hey, guess what? Desert Storm is a real thing. Get ready. So I had to learn the hard way, and I had to learn fast. So I've worked with my hands all my life. And to witness how they treated my baby, I made a promise to her. I was at work. I get a call that said she'd been waiting 45 minutes on a ride. This one? You see, not only did I understand that the way they were treating my child was unacceptable, but then, I thought to myself, how many other children, how many other families going through the same thing? So I started Combat Rescue Transportation. And with this company, you have options that exceed any other carrier. We provide the highest level of video safety for your loved one throughout the entire journey. They're not just picked up and dropped off, they're watched the entire time that they come into contact with Combat Rescue Transportation. I knew that I had to do something. My baby's life her dignity was being compromised, in my opinion. Her safety was being compromised, in my opinion. And that's not to bash any carrier out there, because yes, they are more established, they are more, they have larger fleets, they have better websites. Yeah, they do. But do they have someone that's going to do more than just pull up to a business, unload your loved one, and say goodbye? Even with our drop-offs are not just drop you off and say goodbye. If you have to enter the destination, if you have to overcome any obstacle, we're there until you're safe, not just arrived. We're here until we know that you are safe. And that's just how it is at Combat Rescue Transportation. My baby, she's still here. She's still aware. Her energy is low. Sun is setting, but it ain't set yet. And I was going to make sure that my child's spirit did not leave this world watching her daddy struggle, watching her daddy not make a difference. Combat Rescue Transportation, we offer the Broda Traversal Transit free upgrade. 19-inch drop-down television, in-cabin 5G Wi-Fi, HEPA air filtration, UV light sanitation. The list goes on. There's one thing that I want you to know. The reason for all this started with her. And was visualized and realized through her. You know, they say a parent's supposed to always outlive. The children's supposed to always outlive their parents. You know. And I understand what they mean by that now. We'll talk more about Erica in the future. I'll keep y'all posted as to her health, and I ask that anyone that hears this, please forward it and just say a prayer for my daughter. That's all we can ask. And we in turn will say a prayer for all of you. No, we do not exclusively transport veterans. I get asked that a lot. We do not just exclusively transport veterans. We transport anyone that needs a better ride. So that being said, we're going to talk more about my angel and her great grandmother in the future. And I just wanted to introduce y'all to two of the greatest influences in my life. And I want y'all to know that I will go above and beyond the call to make sure that you and your loved ones enjoy this world just a tiny bit more. If I've just done that, then I've done my job. So if I can be of service, please give me a call, 602-586-9737. We have 24/7 availability. Call anytime. Your call will be returned. If we don't answer right away, if it's late night, after hours, leave a message. Your call will be returned within the next 15 minutes. It's my word to you. Combat Rescue Transportation. We're not just a ride. We're something quite a bit more. Other providers, they can get you there. We're going to get you there better. You know what I'm talking about? Till next time, my name is Claude Boone Jr., Desert Storm veteran and father. And owner, Combat Rescue Transportation, LLC. Give us a call. To all my vets out there, give me a call. Y'all need to get there. You want to go somewhere where you just have trouble getting there, you have trouble moving around, call me. We're a different kind of transportation company. Call me. I know it's cliche. And yes, I know it came out of movie, but I'm going to say it anyway because it just rang so true to me. I will serve, and I will be of service. Thank you for your time, y'all. I appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful night. Have a blessed Easter. We'll talk to you real soon now, you heard me?